Hello everyone, this is 05 and welcome to the Cobra Series toy review. And today, we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe Pursuit of Cobra action figure review. And today's action figure review, we're looking at the Wave 5 of the City Strike General Clayton, quote and unquote, Hawk Abernathy Commander for the G.I. Joe team. Now, I got this straight from eBay by buying a whole set of Wave 5 figures, and each of the figures cost me 55 ringgit, which is a bit more pricier compared to the retail pricing of 42 ringgit and 90 cents. But not much of a choice because Hasbro Malaysia didn't actually brought in any of the Wave 5 figures to Malaysia at all, so I have to resort on getting this straight from eBay. Now let's take a look at the front part packaging itself. On one corner here we have a really nicely done artwork of General Hawk here. Very nicely done. I really like the shading being done onto the facial expression there. As you can see, is a very hardened, battle-hardened man. Very, wow, very mean-looking General Hawk there. And the details of the, well, his uniform and his equipment is very nicely done. Well done artwork compared to a lot of the Pursuit Cobra artwork packages. Here we have a plastic bubble where it stores the figure of General Hawk, and his right hand is holding the walkie-talkie. Next to him is a smaller pistol, and below the pistol is a small little tactical bag. Now next to him is an assault rifle, and below his left hand is a submachine gun. On one corner here we have a briefcase, and you will notice the briefcase inside here. I'm sure you can see it. There's another submachine gun placed inside. There's a small little, well, computer attached to the briefcase itself with the small little monitor. Now behind the figure is a smaller base stand, and beneath the base stand itself is a small little catalog, all folded up to showcase the Wave 1 and Wave 2 figures. Now at the back portion of the packaging itself, top corner here we have a smaller write-up on what's G.I. Joe really about and who they're up against, which is Cobra. Here we have the mission City Strike with a nicer image of the diorama for City Strike itself. You got the City Strike beachhead hiding behind one corner of the wall here. Here we have the City Strike Firefly, the 25th anniversary Firefly, and the Rise of Cobra Night Adder, which is kind of interesting when they include all three lines of G.I. Joe figures into one picture. At the back there is the Cobra Fury tag. Now let's take a look at the profile card below. You got a nicer image of General Hawk, and the top section there stated General Clayton, quote and unquote, Hawk Abernathy Commander, named Clayton M. Abernathy, grade 0-7 bracket Brigadier General, hometown Denver, Colorado, primary weapon MR-PR medium range propulsion round heavy rifle, combat gear, helmet, goggles, walkie-talkie, pistol, submachine gun, tactical backpack, tactical briefcase with pistol. At the bottom there is a smaller write-up stating the General is a West Point graduate with a list of special education credits as long as his arm. But he acquired the main body of his experience where it counts, on the battlefield. He is the type of commander who goes out and gets shot at like everyone else. Troops respect that. They know he won't ask them to do anything he isn't willing to do himself. That's why they're willing to do anything he tells them. Very nice, very inspiring. So, without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after the figure, and there is the stuff out from packaging. Now let's take a look at General Hawk's accessories, starting off with the base stand. It comes with a nice little base stand based on the 25th anniversary mold with a little bit of modification. Now on the top section there we have a nice little G.I. Joe logo on the top with two pegs for the figure to stand on. Now at the nameplate there stated as General Hawk, and at the back portion there, bottom section stated as 2007 Hasbro made in China. Top section there stated as CE's Hasbro SA, and we have some serial code there. Now for General Hawk's accessories, a lot of the accessories itself is nothing new. Some of them are semi-new. So we'll start off with the submachine gun. Now this submachine gun is nothing new. This actually came from the Pursuit Cobra Shock Trooper. There's a little bit of paint job there, a little bit of red paint job on the side here, as you can see. So that's on the other side. Details are very nice. You got a scope on the top, handle at the bottom with no trigger. In the middle of that, you've got the magazine clip. You got additional handle in the front. You got the barrel and the targeting sight. Very nice, but nothing new. Then we have another submachine gun. This actually came from the Resolute Cobra 7-pack, where Hasbro actually has this briefcase where you can actually store this submachine gun. Originally painted in, well, in silver. This one is actually in black plastic material. You can see the handle here. There's a bit of a trigger, but you're barely able to notice it. There's a very small magazine clip in the middle and a handle in the front, targeting sight at the top. The details are very nice, but again, nothing new. Then we have his walkie-talkie. Now the walkie-talkie is actually made of a black plastic material, but they actually painted the screen with light blue. Now the entire thing is also nothing new. This came from the Pursuit of Cobra Shock Troopers accessory. Now originally, as you can see at the back, there's a peg there. Originally it's meant to plug in at the back portion of the Shock Troopers lower back. There's a small little hole where you plug it in to peg it. But for the walkie-talkie itself, you can actually plug it on the vest itself. There's a small little hole here where originally the vest, this section is meant to, well, plug in a knife sheath. Then we have his smaller pistol, which is nothing new. This is the same old pistol that came out in 25th anniversary line. It's all in black plastic material, a very tiny little trigger at the handle there. Simple details, but again, nothing new. And we have his assault rifle. Now this assault rifle here is also nothing new. It actually came from the, well, the 25th anniversary line itself. But the details is actually quite nicely done, as you can see there. You've got the stock on the back, handle. There's a very obvious looking trigger, if you can see that. There's a trigger there. Magazine clip on the middle, barrel, targeting sight on the top. Very nicely done with the details. But nothing new. And all in black plastic material. Then we have his goggle, and this entire goggle is also nothing new as well. The entire thing is actually made with two types of plastic material. One is dark brown, the other one will be a clear blue plastic material, as you can see through the goggles itself. Very nice. Then we have his strap here that actually has a smaller holster and a smaller gun, which is not removable because everything is molded together. There's a bit of paint job going on. The buckle there is actually painted in silver, and the gun holster is painted in dark brown. Then comes to his briefcase. Now the entire briefcase here, as you can see, is made of this beige-like colors. No paint job at all for the outer shell of the briefcase. And you got a smaller handle here for General Hawk to hold on to. You can open up the briefcase because it's actually plugged in with two pegs, actually 4 pegs, in all corner areas where you can see those 4 little holes there. Now this entire mode is also nothing new, as you can see. This is based on the Resolute 7-pack from Hasbro's accessory. The inside of the briefcase itself is very nicely detailed. As you can see, this section here, you have a small shape of a submachine gun. You're supposed to place this in this section. The inside of the briefcase is all painted in black, and you got a smaller computer section here where you can flip open the monitor, and the screen is painted in light blue. Again, nothing new with this accessory, so I'm going to put this back in. Then we have his helmet, also nothing new here. The helmet here is actually made of a beige colored plastic color. As you can see on each side of the helmet itself, there's 2 little small holes. It's, like I mentioned before, it's originally meant for, well, the previous characters, previous figures accessory, but they modify a little bit just to give it to General Hawk here. Bottom section of the strap are painted in black. Then we have his backpack. The backpack is entirely made of a black plastic material, and the back portion is all hollowed out. There's a peg there to plug it at the back portion of the figure. Now the details are nice, but the mold is nothing new. It actually came from the 25th anniversary General Hawk's backpack. It's the same backpack, no changes at all, but the details are quite nice. You've got 2 grenades there, water canteen pouches. The details are very nicely done for the 25th anniversary line. And finally, we have his vest, and this vest here is also nothing new. It actually came from from the G.I. Joe Resolute 7 pack. This vest has been overtly used so many times on Flint, Beachhead, and among other characters as well. Now the entire thing is made of a beige colored plastic material with a little bit of paint job on the straps. Some of the buttons are painted a little bit with dark brown. So that's the back portion of the strap is painted in black, and the buttons as well. Other than that, there is no other changes. This is the same old accessory that you find in the Resolute 7 pack there. There is one final accessory, but it's stuck onto the figure. So let's take a look at the final accessory, which is the belt and the gun holster. The gun holster is actually an add-on piece to the figure itself, so there's no way you can actually remove it unless you crack open the torso. Now the belt buckle is painted in silver, and the rest of the entire thing is made of a black plastic material. Now let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Granted, the flesh tone skin is not painted at all, but the colors make it look very weird. He doesn't look, well, Caucasian. He looks more like Asian, with a bit yellowish flesh tone skin color. So it makes it look very weird. The hair is actually painted in dark brown. The eyes is nicely painted, but the flesh tone skin is really ruining it. However, the torso section here is not painted at all. It's just pure plastic color, but the neck joint is painted. As you can see there, it's a bit too, well, yellow. The lower section of the crotch there is painted in a little bit of mixture of camel colors. As you can see, there's dark green and also swamp green colors. Now the shoulders here is already painted, as you can see, with a bit of beige colors, mixture of beige and gray. Wrist there is not painted at all, it's just pure black plastic material. The thigh section there is actually made of a, well, green, dull green plastic color, but the portions like this thigh portion, the armor pieces are actually painted, so does the camel parts, which is very nicely done. The straps are also painted in black, very nice, with a bit of beige going on, dark green camel, very nicely done. Kneecap is painted in beige colors, very nice. And the lower section of the legs here, as you can see, this entire section of the leg here is actually dark green in colors, with mixture of the colors of the camel, dark green camel. Lower section of the boots here is actually painted and more towards to really dark brown colors, and the boots itself is actually made of a black plastic material. Bottom section of the boots is made of black plastic material, but the top section is painted in really dark brown colors to match up with the shin section there. Now let's take a look at the figure's mold. None of the parts here are new, none at all. It's a mixture of Frankenstein parts using 4 types of figures, which is rather scary. First, let's take a look at the head sculpt. The head sculpt is actually from the 25th anniversary General Hawk. The arms actually came from the Pursuer Cobra Dusty. The entire pair of arms there, including the wrist. Then we have the torso and the waist joint there, actually came from the Resolute single-carded Duke. And finally, the entire row of the pair of legs that actually came from the Pursuit Cobra Recondo. It's a heavily mix of parts from 4 figures. Ironically enough, they are all G.I. Joe figures, all the good guys, not one Cobra parts except for the accessories. So it's actually a nice mixture of parts. It's just that I really wish they make a new head mold for General Hawk here. And the flesh tone skin is, I really don't like the color for the flesh tone skin. It makes him look like, well, an Asian rather than a Caucasian. But I really wish there's a new head sculpt there for the Pursuit of Cobra line for the General Hawk figure. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head can pivot upwards a little bit, downwards a little bit, side to side a little bit, and turn 360 degrees. Torso can move forward, back, side to side a little bit, and turn 360 degrees. But you will notice the torso joint here is a bit loose. Shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees and lift the shoulders all the way up this high. Elbow joint can bend this far, back a little bit, turn 360 degrees. Wrist joint that can turn 360 degrees. I am a bit disappointed that they didn't include new wrist joints for General Hawk here. Hip joints here can move forward, back a little bit, and to the sides. Now knee joint here is double jointed and you can bend the knee this far. And finally the ankle joint that pivots downwards a little bit and upwards and turn 360 degrees, but also a bit loose there. This one is quite solid, but this one is very loose. Now let's fully equip General Hawk here. First I have to pop off the head and have him wear the vest itself. It's quite easy to have the figure wear all the equipment. There's no hassle at all. Then we plug in this gun holster, wrap it around the neck. This one is a bit too finicky, so you have to work around with the strap there, as you can see. There goes the walkie-talkie. There you go. It snag onto the shoulder pads there. There you go, much better. Now for the walkie-talkie to plug in to this section here, having the head pop back in, wear the helmet, the goggle, the backpack. Very nice. Also, small little gun for the gun holster. So I'm not too sure why they gave him another additional gun holster when he actually has an actual gun holster. It's kind of pointless accessory. Have him equipped with the assault rifle and a briefcase. And there you go. General Hawk is ready for action. And what's left behind is the submachine gun, which I don't understand why they have to give him an additional submachine gun where he already has a submachine gun inside the briefcase. But there you have it. General Hawk is an okay figure, despite that he's, well, made up with 4 different types of figures. I just want a new head sculpt for General Hawk for the Pursuit of Cobra line. I don't want a reused head sculpt from the 25th anniversary line itself. The mixture of the body parts is very nice, but the flesh tone skin makes him look kind of Asian. The accessory is actually not bad. He can actually carry most of the accessories there, except with the submachine gun here. But overall the figure is not bad. It's just that I really wanted a new head sculpt, and well, flesh tone skin looks kind of weird. So if I'm gonna give a rating out of this, I would say it's not bad. I'll give it a 6. 6 out of 10 for General Hawk. Yes, 6 out of 10 for General Hawk. And I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.